One of the things that really struck me the first time I saw the film at the Telluride Film Festival, which I believe was the world premiere for the movie,
Correct.
is the warmth, the family. It feels so genuine and authentic. How did you all bond to feel like a family?
Well, it was very difficult. No, I think sometimes there's just an alchemy and a magic that happens, and I think it's down to Ken creating the space for that. One of our first days, Ken had Judy, Kieran, Jamie, and myself in a room. And you asked us questions about our childhood, about our parents, our grandparents. You shared a lot of stories, and that very quickly got us all just to know each other on a very intimate level and on a very personal level. And I think that really broke down any kind of, for me, I was very intimidated walking into that room, but very quickly everyone sort of got along and knew each other on a very kind of real level. And I think that starts everything off on a very open kind of playing field. So it just continued from there.
Can you talk about the process and filming the everlasting love sequence on set?
Well, I can just briefly say that Alita, our choreographer, was involved, but I essentially handed it over to the brilliant and beautiful Caitríona Balfe and Jamie Dornan. So tell us, how was it? I know you rehearsed a lot.
Well, we had to. I would venture to say neither Jamie or I are natural dancers. Maybe Jamie more than me. No, it was, beautiful choreography by Alita. We were shooting a lot of the time in a heat wave. So there was many sweaty sessions of dance rehearsals where we were learning this choreography in like 35 Celsius. But I think it comes at such an important part in the story. And for Ma and Pa, for these two characters, it's really where the stresses on their marriage have sort of come to a height. And I think it really needed this moment for them to remember the foundation of love that they have for each other. And I think that's what's the most powerful thing in that scene is you see that despite all the things that are happening around them, these are two people who love each other so purely. And then, of course, the wonderful singing by Jamie Dornan.
Well, listen, I'll tell you what was a godsend that day was that the vocal I recorded for it, we did it after the production, so I wasn't having to sing live. It wasn't like, Les Miserables or whatever, where they're all singing live. I don't think I would have survived the day if I had to do that. It was hard enough trying to lip sync in time on the day and deal with the dance moves and all the emotion that was wrapped up in that moment. And I agree with Caitríona in terms of like the release of it. I feel it comes at a time in that movie where you've been through so many difficult moments and suddenly there's this joyous release, and it's vitally important, and to see it through his eyes. And that day was filled with terror, really, fear, but I was just getting so much back from this one.
One of my favorite scenes of the movie is the scene between Ma and Pa, where Pa acknowledges that Ma raised the kids just so beautifully. Yeah. I thought that moment was so impactful for the story. So Jamie and Caitríona, can you talk about your memories of filming that scene and also getting the direction from Ken as well?
That was the scene when I think I'd said yes in my mind before I even opened the script based on the personnel surrounding the film. But that was the moment that really punctured me in the script. So when we shot that scene, we shot it first from the angle that it plays in, and by the way, this one fell asleep for real. I don't know what that says about what Balfe and I were getting up to.
There's a really low soundtrack of little snores throughout that scene.
Yeah, not great for the confidence,
he's very method.
Yeah, unbelievable. But we shot it from down there, and which is a beautiful, beautiful image. And I'm allowed. I can say this. Ken took me aside after, and said, "Listen, I don't think we need to come in for coverage, like tight coverage." I was like, okay. But actually, you know, I trust this man more than any director I've ever trusted before. So, you know, I had to put my own personal sort of ambition of you know, a nice tight close shot for that you know, very important scene aside, and which was difficult. But I think it's far more impactful the way it plays, and at the end of the day, we are discussing the two boys, and in a very sincere and emotional way. So to have them included in the shot for the entirety while we discuss that, I think is really beautiful thing. So yeah, I think it was a wonderful scene to shoot, because it meant, you know, that was the most impactful scene that I read, and she's just the easiest person in the world to work with. So.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's such a gorgeous moment between these two characters. You know, I think so often, you know, I will say, first of all, I think the men in this film are some of the most beautiful and big-hearted characters, and they really, you know, you feel the empathy and the love from them, but very often it's the women who are left bearing the brunt of things in these kind of situations, and it's not often acknowledged. And sometimes I think people talk about stay-at-home mothers in this very dismissive way and sort of reduce them to sort of like, well, they're just another wife. And I think that this was a beautiful moment that really acknowledged the weight and the enormity of what Ma was doing and what a lot of women do. And I thought that was a really beautiful moment.